Tell me about this program that you're
So it just came out. It's called Smart Buy. And what it basically is helping, right? It's always, these are all still first time buyer programs. And it's for the consumer who's going to live in the property, maybe has some student debt that they want to pay off, and then get some assistance. So the assistance is 5,000. And then the student loan assistance is 40,000, up to 40,000. If they only have 30,000 in student loans, then they just pay off 30. Now, but the opposite is true as well. So if they have 60,000 in student loans and IDA's only giving them 40, that means they have to come up with another 20 because you have to pay off the whole student loan.
have to pay off the loan. Okay. So you have
Yeah.
to pay off the loan. So it's really mostly, unless you have the cash, it's really good for people who are 40 and under that owe 40 and under on the loan. That's,
Yeah.
that's
Or pretty close to the 40 so that it can get
okay.
paid off. Now, you could have two people, let's say a wife and a husband, and say the wife has, I don't know, 45,000 in student loans, and but the wife also has 30. They can pay off the husband's student loans and then just leave the wife's.
Okay.
So, but whatever that 40,000 is going towards, whatever that student loan debt is, has to get paid off in its entirety. So
Okay.
that's the caveat.
Yeah.
So if,
Go ahead. So if for example, let's say somebody took out several loans, right? And so all of those loans, as long as they're under that person's name, have to be paid off, or that one specific loan that they're trying to buy down to
that
pay.
one specific loan, so if there's one big loan that is 60,000 and and IDA's giving them 40, then that means they have to come up with another gift or come up with their own liquid funds of 20 to pay off the full student loan of 60.
Okay. And does any of that have to be paid back? Does anything have to be paid back?
No, I was looking at it. I want to say I'm pretty sure that it's also going to have a 10-year where you have to keep it for 10 years without having to pay it back. But I didn't I looked in the frequently asked questions, but it doesn't address that.
Okay.
Um, so I got to find out if at all, would it have to get paid off, or is it after basically 10 years that it's then fully forgiven? That part is what I was looking into, but I don't see it anywhere because there is a commonly asked questions, which I can share with you. Can I share my screen?
Let me check. Okay.
So just to share kind of where I'm getting all this, share. Here's my screen. So if you go to IHDA mortgage.org,
Mm-hmm.
then you can get to the programs, which this program is called the Smart Buy.
Mm-hmm.
And here are some commonly asked questions. So can I buy down the rate? That's one of the questions. No, you cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Can a DACA qualify? Yes, they can, but they don't have, and this is where it says that per the program rules, at least one borrower's total student debt must be paid off in full. No partial payments are allowed for any borrower. So they have this section, they just came out with this program, but it doesn't address at what point would this program, if any, would that 40,000 need to be paid back?
Okay. Okay.
So
So
that is a good question. I unfortunately, it doesn't have it on here.
yeah, and that would be something that you would look into. And when you're talking about the 10 years, you're talking about living in the property for 10 years?
You got to keep it for 10 years, correct?
Mm.
So
Okay.
most of these programs um, are, you have to keep the property for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So there's Smart Buy, um, accessible, forgivable. So this one program is 10 years forgiven after 10 years. No monthly payment and assistance, forgivable down payment assistance, no repayment unless sold or refinanced before 10 years. And that's for 6 grand.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the deferred for 75. So you do pay it back eventually.
Mm-hmm.
when you refinance or sell it, or you just finish paying it off after 30 years, you're going to have to pay back the 7,500 and then accessible repayable. So you get 10,000 in assistance, but it's repayable every month. So you're paying about $83 a month and you're paying that full amount back.
Gotcha, for 10 years.
Yes, but this is what just came out,
Mm-hmm.
is the Smart Buy.
Yeah, and that's pretty much available until the money runs out, right? So people should probably get on that if they think that they would qualify.
Okay, actually, say that again?
So that is available until the money runs out, correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Similar to the Cook County program that ran out as well, but
Mm-hmm.
um yeah.
Okay. So let's think about some scenarios. So let's say there's a couple, and I think you already alluded to this, but let's say there's a couple and they both want to be they're going to be on the loan. You can, and one of them has a student loan, and the other one doesn't, or maybe they both do. But what we would do is take one person's, right? One person's loans, and so you can combine two people on this IDA program. It could be a parent and a child, it could be husband and wife, or it could be spouses.
Well, not necessarily a son and a daughter, because unless the son and the daughter are going to live in, because this is an owner occupied program. So whoever is on the mortgage has to be living in the property as well.
Right. So then if a parent and a child are going in together to live in the same property, that would
Then
work.
you could do it. Yeah.
Okay.
But if
Okay.
it's just a non-occupant co-borrower where mom is just co-signing because she knows that her son needs some help co-signing, then you can't do the IDA program.
Gotcha. Okay. What are some other things that people should know about the IDA program coming in?
640 minimum credit score.
Okay.
There is a fixed interest rate that's attached to each program. So everyday rates change, and I shouldn't say everyday rates change, but they can change every day depending on what the market is. So you're not getting the current market rate, you're getting whatever rate that specific program currently is offering.
Okay.
And that typically, historically, it's always been about 0.5% higher. But I remember looking at this with Arturo last year, and at one point in time when rates were almost hitting 8%, IDA was still at 7%. So actually, IDA was priced better than the current market rate. So it typically is a little bit higher, but we've seen it where they've been even better than current market rates.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, Siomara. And so this is Siomara Barboza with Cross Country Mortgage. And always a pleasure to talk to you and give us an update on everything that's going on. I love this Smart Buy. I think it's a really good opportunity for people. So if you find that you can benefit from this Smart Buy, give us a call. Arturo and I from Escobar Homes and Family at Keller Williams, and Siomara Barboza, who is one of our lenders that we've known for so long. I think, well, Arturo and you have known each other longer. I kind of came in when I got my license, and it's always good to talk to you and always good to work with you. So you can give us a call, you can give Siomara a call and find out what you can do. I would take this opportunity to get some information to see if you qualify for this program because it sounds amazing. Xiomara, thank you so much. And any last words? Anything you would like to add?
I would say, even for those that may not be sure to if they qualify, I would say I'll at least attempt, right? It doesn't hurt to apply and inquire about it.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. To that point, sometimes the initial program that you would like to qualify for may not be the best one, and yet when you have the conversation with the lender, you find out that there are other programs that may be even better and more beneficial to you. A lot of people think that they don't qualify to buy a house because they've heard things here and there, but it's such a good idea to just come and have a conversation with a lender to look at where you are, and then even form a plan, right? Siomara, you help people
Exactly.
set up a
Yeah.
plan so
Form a
that,
plan and see, are there grants depending on where you currently live, maybe grants where you're gonna live, that are fully forgiven and can be up to sometimes up to the same amount or more than what these down payment programs, and those are fully forgiven. So I always tell people, just try, just fill everything out. Why not? Give it a shot, you know?
why not? That's a great ending to that one. Why not? Thank you so much, Siomara.